What's going on, guys? This is Martyrsbrigade99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it in the pit, the Moonlight Butterfly Forest. And actually, this is going to be part 2 of the video series that I like to title Battle of the Uploaders. Now, first and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to good old Shot1608. He actually has contacted me on a number of occasions, and I think he's kind of relatively new to uploading, but because we have so many communications back and forth, I said, you know what, why not? Right? Because I mean, just for the sake of GP, I mean, he could just kind of contacts me, hey dude, you just want to have some matches, you want to do some PvP, which is good, right? Because I mean, honestly, for some of you guys who may have been disappointed, right? Because you were once on my friends list, but no longer on my friends list. Guess what, guys? I don't have people to keep slots on my friend list. I mean, just so you can say, I'm friends with the brigade. It's not like that, dude. Most of the people that I keep on my friends list are people who, you know, and I'm not saying they message me once a week to say, what's up, dude? I'm not saying that. But, you know, every now and then, you know, perhaps either we participate in fight clubs, perhaps we are Twitch buddies, or maybe they just call in and say, hey, dude, let's just get some matches in. Most of the guys who are on my friends list, I have some type of contact with them. May it be on the Twitch chats, may it be just messaging for PvP, may it be co-op, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, it just is what it is, guys. And here's one of the guys who likes to contact me and say, hey, guy, I mean, let's just have some matches. What are you doing? You doing nothing? Okay, let's do some PvP. Okay, no problem. Right? So, you know, despite the fact that he's relatively new only to uploading, because he's obviously not new to PvP, I said, sure, let's go ahead and get it on. Now, one good old thing about Shot1608, he rocks the Leo ring. Right? So actually, this was a good series of matches, because I actually watched a few of his videos, and I noticed on a lot of his videos he's rocking the thrusting attacks of the Balder side sword. Me, on the other hand, I have my own version of a Leo ring build, and basically this is my Leo the Lion build. Now, since having this Leo the Lion build, I've, you know, kind of made some improvements to it. Now, you guys just noticed that first hit, it was like 734 damage. This is the power that comes with the Leo ring. And actually, you know, before I really get into it, there are a lot of people out there who are of the opinion that the mid rollers cannot compete. Right? Not only can the mid rollers not compete, but that it is also difficult to deal with a good spear user. Guess what, guys? I'm going to show off, I think, maybe 2 or 3 demonstrations in this particular video. Not against Nice Shot or, you know, Shot1608, not against him, but against a couple other guys who just so happen to invade me in between our matches, just to demonstrate that, listen, the best alternative, the best option, in my personal opinion, against a good spear user is the Leo ring. Not only would I say against a good spear user, I would also say for a lot of these guys who are medium rolling. Because, you know, some of these guys may say, I mean, holy crap, it's kind of hard for me to compete. You know, I'm medium rolling. These guys are just flying around me. Well, guess what, guys? To the extent that you are either a fat boy or a medium roller, the Leo ring can help to compensate for these perceived weaknesses. Now, what do I mean? Granted, pretty sure you guys know that these ninja flippers and the fast rollers are just kind of speeding around you guys. But guess what, dude? To the extent that you equip the Leo ring, you can basically have your own counter to everything that they're doing. Because think about it. You plan your counterattacks, you know, pretty good. You can inflict like 700 to 800 damage easily, and that's just one hit. We're not even talking about if you follow up with a second attack. And actually, I am going to upload a video series that's going to feature me doing some Lucerne PvP, in addition to a few other follow-up videos with me rocking the medium role and the Leo ring, just to demonstrate. You know, may it be a pyro guy, may it be a spear guy, regardless of who it is, you know, regardless of what they're using. You pull out a halberd, a Lucerne, a warhammer, the one-handed R2 of a claymore, the one-handed and two-handed R2 of a Balder side sword. You can annihilate a lot of these opponents. Case in point, I remember once I was using this same build and I was one-handing the claymore, right? And with the stats that I had, dude, I was able to get 600 plus damage with a one-handed R2 attack from a claymore, right? All thanks to the Leo ring. So, you know, I kind of won't go that much into the Leo ring right now because I have videos that's going to be dedicated to talking specifically about the Leo ring. So we'll just go ahead and watch the rest of this match and just talk about the information relative to this series. So, like I was saying, this is basically Leo versus the Lion. Right, and that's why I call myself a lion, basically because I was with a high poised tank. Now, since having this series, I kind of made some, you know, changes to my Leo the Lion build. And basically the changes that I've made, once again, I am rocking the Hollow Swag Warrior build, right? But it's only going to be the Leo Ring edition. Another difference that I have between this build and the updated build is that I'm using all of the thrust weapons, every single one of them, with the updated version. This one, basically I just pulled out the halberd, the Lucerne, and the warhammer, and I think not the warhammer, I think it's a war pick or something like that. The war pick. I think those are the only weapons that I use in this particular build, only because I was kind of experimenting with it. I wasn't really sure, you know, whether the Leo ring would be a good viable build. I didn't know, but after using this Leo ring for, I would say probably about a good 12 days now, I love it, right? And this goes on to say, once again, that each and every time I experiment with something new, I realize that there are so many possibilities with regard to this game. And I mean, I just cannot say enough. I cannot say enough for a lot of you guys that only stick with what you perceive to be your game winners. Dude, you guys do not realize what you are missing when you experiment with not only, you know, armors, not only weapons, but also with builds. You guys do not realize what you're missing, because I definitely have a blast. Because as I've said in the past, at any given time, you know, I can switch to, you guys notice that? 811 damage. Right? And that was just the first hit. 811 damage. Now, somebody may say, dude, I mean, what's so surprising about that? You have a crystal halberd. Guess what, guys? In the series that I plan to upload, I will not be rocking a crystal halberd. I'll be using a plus 15 halberd, and I'll be inflicting 742 attacks, 742 damage with just one counter hit. Right? So listen, do not sleep on the Leo ring. Please do not sleep on it, because I've basically been in this forest for a few days now. I mean, just tighten up guys left and right with the counterattack damage. Alright, so basically I was just kind of drawing back on purpose right there so he can die by way of poison. Right? I'd like to give a shout out to all you rotten resin users out there. Right? Who like to inflict a little poison for the win. Now, here's a classic example, and I'm going to slow this part down. Just pay close attention to this damage, because spear users are pretty predictable. Right? They always try to notice it. Bam! 801. You guys notice that? One counterattack, 801. Here's another counterattack, 614. And that's just one-handed. It's not even two-handed. You guys notice that? This match was pretty much over, for the most part, after 2 hits. This is the power of the Leo ring. I cannot stress that enough. So, for a lot of you guys, right, who are afraid of medium rolling, get off it. Medium roll with the Ring of Favor and Protection. Get you a build with a Leo ring and thrusting weapons, and I guarantee your medium roll will be a force to be reckoned with. Right? All you have to do is kind of get practice, try to time when your opponent is going to attack, and you counterattack. You will not be disappointed. The brigade will not mislead you. Please believe that. Right? You guys notice that? 802. And after just 2 hits, I was able to inflict 1,200 damage. Don't sleep on the ring. I cannot stress that enough. Right? And I'm medium rolling. And actually, now that I know all this about the Leo ring, I wish I would have had the Leo ring with me when I had a few matches against good old Hell Servant. Right? Shout out to good old Hell Servant. He tightened me up with his Fat Boy. I don't know if he was a Fat Boy, but I do know for a fact it was a tank build. Right? He got me real good with that tank. Alright, so we're back at it. And actually, the funny thing about it is I've had a number of guys during these matches. They'll say something like, hey dude, the only reason why you're kind of beating me is because, you know, you have 77 poise. Listen dude, get off it. It's not the 77 poise. It's the power of the Leo. And I'm going to demonstrate it. And that's why I chose to do a lot of the uploads with my updated build. The one that only has 53 poise. Right? Less poise, same result. Alright. So we're back at it with good old Shot1608. Took advantage of me slipping right there with my bow and arrows. I mean, as much as I've been kind of using that composite bow, every now and then I'll still get locked on to, you know, that close aiming. Alright, so we're both rocking the Leo. Now, one thing about his tactic, in my personal opinion, if I had to do anything different with good old Shot1608's build, I would use weapons other than that Balder side sword. Right? Now, granted, from what I see, he liked to take advantage of the Leo ring and have fast mobility. But guess what, good old Shot1608, you don't need the fast mobility. As long as you have the Leo ring, you're good to go. Now, here's another example of trying to PvP against another spear user. Same guy. But you just notice, because spear users are pretty easy to predict, and they like to take for granted their long reach. But guess what? I have noticed it. Booyah! 801. Stop this dude in his tracks. Right? And the follow-up was the regular 2-hand damage, which inflicted somewhere around 400. 2 hits, 1,200 damage. Dude, that is almost a Hornet ring. Right? That is almost the equivalent to a Hornet ring. Alright, so we're going to break out the Lucerne. Try to get some counterattacks with the Lucerne. Right? Because for the most part, I can pretty much gauge when he's going to attack. And to the extent that you can gauge when your opponent attacks, that is perfect for the counterattack benefits that you would get with the Leo. Alright. Guys, notice that? 785. Alright. So let me kind of mix it up a little bit. Pull out my good old war pick. Doing. Guys, notice that? 453. And actually, that was only because he only had 453 left. Right? But that counterattack was going to give me upwards of 500. Definitely upwards. I have tested this on so many occasions. Right. So, I don't know if I touched on this, but you guys, go ahead and add Shot1608, his channel in the description box. You guys can kind of check it out for yourself. He has a lot of good vids on there, most of which involve Leo Ring PvP. So if you guys kind of like the Leo Ring PvP, I'd like to invite you to his channel. I'll go ahead and put it in the description box for your viewing. Alright. So we're back at it. And I love this halberd. Halberd, the lucerne, I love them all. Even the pike. Especially that. Okay, why did this dude just BS me? I guess he got kind of tired of that Leo ring damage. Alright, we're good to go. So, I noticed he just changed up his armor selection. So I guess he figured more poise will kind of give him a different result. But not really. Right? Because it is not the poise. It is trying to time your counterattacks. And timing them well. For which I think that right there was a Leo Ring R2 attack. Because he really inflicted a lot of damage. Alright. So if you guys notice, the regular two-handed R1 attack only afflicts like, 415. Doing, you guys see that? 764. You guys notice that? Oh boy, I love this build. Alright, so he kind of turtled a little bit just to follow up with the BS, but it's all good. Got to get some wins in every now and then. Alright, we got good old Captain. Well, you guys can see the name for yourself. And he's medium rolling. Oh, and actually, well, let me get. Well, actually, I kind of said that wrong. This is good old Nice Shot once again. Alright. Now, personally, although I do think the Baldur's Side sword is good with the counterattacks, I think the halberd is a little better, mainly because of the reach advantage, especially considering a lot of those spear users definitely have long reach. You guys notice that? 740 damage. And the thing about it is, I was trying to come up with the build for which I can have the Leo ring along with the red Tearstone ring. And I really could not do it. I really couldn't do it. I was trying to put together so many different combinations. But at the end of the day, I would have been in a situation where I would have had around 1500 vitality at most. And, I just really wasn't feeling 1500 vitality. I don't know. I might create a build like that anyway, just to experiment for the sake of experimenting. But, I mean, if you do a Leo ring / red Tearstone combination, I mean, that's pretty much a one-shot TKO, especially with the counterattack. Alright, so this is pretty much the last match of the series. I'd like to give a thanks and show my appreciation to good old Shot1608. Once again, you guys can go ahead and check out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of good material. Now, I don't know if he's going to start to do commentaries, but I do know that he has a lot of good showcases. Alright guys, until next time, Martyrs Brigade is out.